Hi, it's True Repenter here. Today we are going to learn about how to count 3 days and 3 nights from the death and to the resurrection of our Master Yahushua HaMashiach through Creator's celestial calendar. The Christian norm of how to count the 3 days to the resurrection day of HaMashiach is that they believe either Christ died on Friday and rose on Easter Sunday. However, recent study is surfacing on the internet saying that Yahushua HaMashiach died on Wednesday and resurrected on Saturday, which are both wrong. We are going to watch a short clip why they believe Yahushua HaMashiach died on Wednesday and resurrected on Saturday.
이달 14일까지 양을 간직했다가 그날 죽이고 그 밤에 6월절이자 무교절의 첫날인 안식일인 거죠? 그렇죠? 예. 근데 그 출애굽한 그 직전 요 날에 양 잡는 날이죠. 요 날이. 그날 예수님이 하나님의 어린 양으로 잡히신 거예요. 여러분, 예수님이 수요일 오후 3시에 죽으셨으면 목요일 오후 3시면 정확하게 하루죠. 금요일 오후 3시면 정확하게 이틀이죠. 토요일 오후 3시면 정확하게 3일이죠. 예수님은 토요일 오후 3일 만에 부활할 거라 그러셨잖아요. 그렇죠? 그럼 토요일 오후 3시에 부활하셨을 가능성이 가장 높죠.
But what they don't understand is that they don't address the order of one Roman week in the first century was not from Sunday to Saturday. The Roman calendar that was found closest to the year of crucifixion shows the order of a Roman week starts from Saturday, which makes Friday the 7th day. So we know the HaMashiach was crucified loosely between 27 to 33 AD. I have indicated the crucifixion year loosely as people all have different opinion of what the crucifixion year was. But the point is that it was sometime between 27 to 33 AD, before 78 and 81 AD, when Romans were using calendar that has its Roman week starts from Saturday as the first day and Friday as the 7th day. And in 321 AD, Constantine made Sunday the first day, which makes today's Gregorian Roman week starting from Sunday, ending in Saturday. Not only Christians' view on Resurrection Day is wrong in terms of number of days, but also the order of the week is off. However, Christians are still happy to continue with their pagan practices, keeping Good Friday as the day of crucifixion and doing Lord's Supper with leavened bread. And they celebrate the resurrection day on Easter Sunday, the day of worshipping pagan deity of fertility and prosperity, Easter, and also making Easter eggs, which is also a pagan practice that came from human sacrifice, which is to dip the eggs in the blood of sacrificed babies for Moloch. So this is why it is extremely important. We need to question everything, whether this is from the scripture or not, instead of accepting everything because your pastor tells you so. In order to draw same conclusion about how to scripturally count the 3 days and 3 nights of a resurrection, we first of all need to be on the same page. First, we all agree that Yahushua died on the 14th of Abib at the 9th hour on Passover day. Second of all, we all agree that he rose after 3 days and 3 nights. So we all agree upon these two scriptural facts. So let's move on. Now I want to add other important milestones in order to count 3 days and 3 nights in a scriptural manner. The scripture tells us that light is day and darkness is night. Bereshit 1:5 reads, And Elohim called the light day, and darkness he called night. In Korean translation, it says day as afternoon. So I replaced it with Hebrew word yom, which means day, to clear any confusion. So day is light and darkness is night, according to Genesis 1:5. The scripture also tells us that Moedim is determined by moon. In Psalm 104:19 reads, He made the moon for appointed feasts. The sun knows he's going down. Moedim is appointed times, including new moon day, Sabbath, and yearly 7 appointed times. So we are on the same page that Moedim is determined by moon. So the Passover date is also determined by moon. Next, children of Israel left Egypt on the 15th of Abib. In Numbers 33:3 reads, And they departed from Ramses in the first month, on the 15th day of the first month, on the morrow after the Pesach. The night of 15th Abib, the moon is full. In Tehillim 81:3-6 it reads, Blow the shofar on the dark new moon today on our solemn feast. However, if we read the verse 3, instead of English translation today or appointed time, the Hebrew reads Keseh, which means full moon, and in King James Bible it is mistranslated as appointed. So it really should be translated as blow the shofar on the dark new moon or new moon and full moon on our solemn feast. And if we read verse 5 and verse 6, this he ordained Joseph for a testimony when he went out through the land of Mizraim. So we know on the 15th of Abib, children of Israel left, and the moon is either new moon or full moon according to Psalms 81. But if we read the book of Enoch, it reads, in 14 the whole of its light is completed. 3 quintuples light is put into it. Until 15 its light is completed. So we know that moon is full on 14th and 15th, and because we know children of Israel left Egypt on the 15th of Abib, the full moon is the 15th of Abib. So the last point will be children of Israel left Egypt on the night of full moon, which is 15th of Abib. I hope we all agree upon these 5 scriptural facts. Knowing this, we know when we read Matthew 12:40, for as Jonah was 3 days and 3 nights in the fish's belly, so shall the Son of Adam be 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth. Because we read in Genesis 1:5, Elohim called light day, and darkness he called night. These 3 days and 3 nights can be interchangeable as 3 light and 3 darkness. But note that sun is not light and moon is not darkness, as we know that Elohim created darkness and light in the first day, and he created sun and moon on the first day as luminaries to rule the day and night, respectively. Now we will read some passages of Book of Jonah in order to find out the exact beginning point of 3 days and 3 nights of HaMashiach's resurrection. Let's read Book of Jonah. Then Jonah prayed unto El Yahuwah Eloheu out of the fish's belly, and said, I cried by reason of my affliction unto El Yahuwah, and he heard me out of the belly of Seor. Cried I, and you heard my voice. Note how Jonah describes the belly of the fish as Seol. And when we read Matthew 27:45-50, now from the 6th hour there was darkness over all the land unto the ninth hour. And about the ninth hour, Yahushua cried with a loud voice, just as Jonah cried out, saying, Eli, Eli, lama azabtani. That is to say, my El, why have you forsaken me? Some of them that stood there, when they heard that, said, This man calls for Eliyahu. And straightway one of them ran and took a sponge, and filled it with vinegar, and put it on a reed, and gave him to drink. The rest said, Let be, let us see whether Eliyahu will come to save him. Yahushua, when he had cried again with a loud voice, yielded up his ruach. Again, we see a clear parallel that exists between Book of Jonah and Matthew, as we read how Yahushua also cried out to Eli before yielding up his ruach. So I will reasonably mark the beginning point of the 3 days and 3 nights to be the 9th hour of the 14th of Abib, which is the very hour Yahushua yielded up his ruach. Just like Jonah was in Sheol for 3 days and 3 nights, the starting point of 3 days and 3 nights of Yahushua HaMashiach will be the time of his actual death, which is the time separation between life and death. So since we know that the starting point of 3 days and 3 nights should start from the 9th hour of the 14th Abib, we are going to count 3 days and 3 nights together using Creator's celestial calendar, focusing on the period of 14th to 16th of Abib. The 3rd hour of 14th of Abib, Yahushua was crucified, as Mark 15:25 reads, and it was the 3rd hour, which is about 9 a.m., and they crucified him. And from the 6th hour to the 9th hour, there was darkness over all the land. In Matthew 27:45 reads, Now from the 6th hour there was darkness over all the land unto the 9th hour. And as we read before, Yahushua cried with a loud voice, like Jonah cried out in the valley of the fish. And Yahushua cried again with a loud voice, yielded up his ruach. The following night, which is the 15th, when the moon is full, this is the time when children of Israel left Egypt, he was laid in the sepulchre as sinless body, which represents unleavened bread. We read in the book of Luke 23:54-55, women were in the sepulchre until it was about to dawn towards a Sabbath day. And that day was the preparation, and the Sabbath drew on. And the women also which came with him from Galilee followed after, and beheld the sepulchre, and how his body was laid. This indicates that these women stayed in the sepulchre from the evening of 14th towards 15th of Abib to dawning of the morning of 15th day, which is the Sabbath. And the women returned home and prepared spices and ointments, as the women noticed that there were insufficient spices and ointments for Yahushua HaMashiach's embalming, as it reads, And they returned and prepared spices and ointments and rested the Sabbath according to the commandments. They saw that there was not enough spices and ointments in order to embalm Yahushua HaMashiach's body. So they quickly returned home and prepared extra spices and ointments, and they rested on the Sabbath day according to the commandment. After Sabbath passed, these women went to the market to buy sweet spices, this time in order to come and anoint him. In Mark 16:1, it reads, And when the Shabbat passed, Miriam of Migdal and Miriam, the mother of Yaakov, and Shalomah, having gone to market and bought sweet spices in order to come and anoint him. So these women not only saw that there was not enough spices and ointments to embalm HaMashiach's body, but as soon as Shabbat was over, which is the day of 15th, they went to the market to buy sweet spices to anoint HaMashiach. The next morning, which is 16th of Abib, Matthew 28:1, it reads, "But late in the day of the Shabbath, as it began to grow light to the one Shabbat, which is 1 week to come." And in John 21, now on the certain Shabbat came Miriam and Migdal early when it was yet dark unto the sepulchre, and saw the stone taken away from the sepulchre. So these women, after they prepared extra spices and ointments and also bought sweet spices in order to anoint him, they waited eagerly until the dawn of 16th of Abib. And when it was still dark, they went to the sepulchre and it was empty. So because it says it's dark, people say that they went to the sepulchre in the dark, which is the night of 16th. But when you read the scripture carefully, it says it was beginning to grow light. So they went to the sepulchre in the moment when darkness is turning into light, which is indicated in this gradation bar here. You know how when we see the sunrise in the early morning, how darkness turns into light, and we see this beautiful mixture of darkness and light in various colors like red and purple and yellow. That moment when darkness is turning to light which is very early morning, they eagerly went to the sepulchre in this very moment when darkness is turning to light. It says the 15th day of Abib was Sabbath. We know that from morning of 15th of Abib to 16th of Abib is day 7, which is Sabbath. And after day 7, 16th of Abib becomes day 1, as it says it was first day of the week. From morning of 14th to 15th will be day 6 of the week, and from morning of 13th to 14th of Abib will be day 5 of the week. So we have sun ruling the day and moon ruling the night, marking date and marking weekly value. Remember how day is interchangeable as light and night is interchangeable as darkness, as we read in Genesis 1:5. Here is how we count 3 days and 3 nights. 1 darkness, 2 darkness, 3 darkness, and 1 light, 2 light, and 3 lights. First darkness will be the time of 9th hour of 14th Abib, when there was darkness all over the land from 6th hour to the 9th hour. And we know the 9th hour, Yahushua HaMashiach yielded his Ruach in the very moment when darkness is turning into light. So this 9th hour is the time when there is mixture of darkness and light. So this will count as 1 darkness or 1 night. And second night is the night that comes after the 14th evening when moon is full. So this time is when Yahushua HaMashiach was laid in the sepulchre as sinless body or unleavened bread. And the third night will be the night of 16th after Sabbath of 15th of Abib. So this night is when the women went out to the market to buy sweet spices. And first light will be the 14th of Abib after the 9th hour and before the sunset of the evening of 14th Abib. Second light will be the Sabbath day, which is the 15th of Abib, when the women returned home to rest. And third light will be the twinkling moment of when the night is turning into light, and we have this beautiful mixture of darkness and light in the dawn when the women went to the sepulchre. And our Hamashiach fulfilled Creator's Father's Moedim through his death and resurrection from Passover, unleavened bread, and first fruits. He died on Passover as Passover lamb, the exact hour when Passover lambs were sacrificed, and the exact time when children of Israel first killed their Passover lamb before they escaped from Egypt. He was laid as a sinless body on unleavened bread on the 15th of Abib, the night when children of Israel escaped Egypt after eating the Passover lamb. He rose as the first fruit of resurrection on the feast of first fruits. Not only he fulfilled 3 days and 3 nights of the sign of Jonah, he also fulfills that he will be risen in the 3rd day. In Marcus 9:31 it reads, "The son of Adam is delivered into the hands of men, and they shall kill him, and after that he is killed, he shall rise the 3rd day." First day is the 14th of Abib. The 15th day is second day, and 16th of Abib will be the 3rd day. So if we can count 3, there's no way we will be deceived by secular one-world religion calendar like this. We know that Yahushua HaMashiach is the same yesterday and today and forever. But when we contrast Creator's calendar against Christian's resurrection timeline, it changes every year. This is Gregorian year 2023, and your church calendar will tell you that Christ rose on 9th of April, which is Easter Sunday. But when we look at the lunation, the full moon appears on 5th of April, which is the 15th of Abib. So his resurrection date is really the 7th of April, which is 16th of Abib, the first fruits. So this year, Yahushua HaMashiach was killed on Wednesday and rose on Friday, not Friday and Sunday. But when you look at the previous year, the full moon comes on the 16th of April, which is 15th of Abib. So we know he rose on the 16th of Abib, which is 17th of April. So this year, he died on Friday and rose on Sunday. So this, for the year 2022, Good Friday and Easter Sunday timeline fits coincidentally to the Creator's calendar. But the previous year to 2022, full moon appears on 28th of March, which is the 15th of Abib. So he rose on 16th of Abib, which is Monday. So he dies. He was killed for this year. He was killed on Saturday and he rose on Monday. But your Christian calendar will tell you that he was risen on Easter Sunday, which is the 4th of April, which is off again, the year 2020. The full moon appears on the 9th of April, which is 15th of Abib. So this year, it will make that he was killed on Wednesday, which is 8th of April, 14th of Abib, and is risen on Friday, which is 16th of Abib and 10th of April. But your Christian calendar will tell you that the Christ rose on the 12th of April, which is Easter Sunday. So you get the idea how the resurrection day changes every year in contrast to lunation, where he's really supposed to rise the morning after the full moon. So be deceived no more by paganism of Christianity. If you can count 3, you cannot be deceived by Christian calendar Easter Sunday garbage. So let's be firmly rooted in the scripture and worship him when he was actually resurrected, which is the 3rd day after Passover, which is 16th of Abib, the feast of first fruits, as the first fruit of resurrection. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a meaningful and glorious Passover, and let Yahuwah's blessing be abundant in your life. Shalom.